Well, I think people are in a state of somewhat shock as to what this new government is doing.
Well, that is the purpose of elections. And at the last election, this government achieved a sizable majority for our missions, including to grow the economy, to improve living standards.
Well, one of the challenges we face because of the Conservatives crashed the economy and the situation we're going to inherit is that we won't be able to reverse everything that the Conservatives have done over the last 13 years.
Think you can name 3 companies you've worked with to boost economic growth? Sounds easy, right? Well, not for Angela Rayner, the Deputy Prime Minister of the UK. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. In a recent interview, Rayner couldn't name a single company she'd worked with. This embarrassing moment has raised serious questions about the Labour Party's credibility. But it's not just about one politician's gaffe, it's about the future of UK's economy. Can you trust a government that can't even name its business partners? Angela Rayner's recent interview performance has left many questioning Labour's economic credibility. The Deputy Prime Minister confidently claimed to have boosted economic growth through business partnerships, painting a rosy picture of Labour's engagement with the private sector. But when pressed to name just 3 companies she'd worked with, Rayner's response was deafening silence. Not a single company named. The awkward moment stretched on, leaving viewers and political analysts alike stunned.
And that's not going to happen, not while this government you've got is doing the kind of things that they're doing. I can't see that happening.
And make working people better off. We've just got started, and that is what we are absolutely determined to do, to deliver on the mandate that we got on the 4th of July.
The house building that I'm proposing at the start of conference that we'll be announcing more this week is about actually giving people secure futures and making sure that we can tackle things like child poverty.
This fumble isn't just embarrassing for Rayner, it's a potential disaster for Labour's economic platform. How can a party claiming to be business-friendly fail to name even one corporate partner? It's like a chef forgetting the ingredients in their signature dish. The implications are far-reaching, casting doubt on Labour's ability to manage the economy and rebuild trust with the business community. But Rayner's memory lapse is just the tip of the iceberg. When we compare her claims to reality, the numbers tell a different story. Despite Labour's assertions of economic growth, many businesses have expressed dissatisfaction with the party's approach. It seems Labour's actual business engagement is more limited than they'd like us to believe. Are we seeing a pattern of Labour making bold claims that don't align with their actions? This disconnect becomes even more apparent when we consider Rayner's history of providing inaccurate statistics during high-profile interviews. It's not just about getting numbers wrong, it's about being out of touch with the realities faced by ordinary citizens and businesses alike. How can Labour effectively govern if they can't even get their facts straight? Critics have been quick to pounce on Rayner's inability to back up her claims, calling it proof that she's out of her depth. For a government trying to rebuild trust with businesses, this performance is nothing short of disastrous. It raises serious questions about Labour's overall economic impact and their genuine engagement with the private sector. But Rayner's stumble is just the tip of the iceberg. As we dig deeper into Labour's economic promises and performance, a troubling pattern emerges. It seems the party leadership has a habit of making grand statements that often fall flat when scrutinized. This latest gaffe isn't just about one politician's bad day, it's symptomatic of a larger issue within Labour. Can they be trusted to manage the economy when they can't even manage their own messaging? Rachel Reeves, once Labour's rising star and self-proclaimed economic expert, now finds herself in the eye of a political storm. Her journey from confident shadow chancellor to embattled politician is a tale of ambition, bold promises, and increasingly uncomfortable scrutiny. Reeves's ascent within Labour was meteoric. She positioned herself as the party's economic savior, making grand claims about boosting growth and fixing Britain's financial woes. But as the spotlight intensified, cracks began to appear in her polished facade. Labor's economic policies have come under fire from all sides. Critics argue that Reeves's plans are more style than substance, lacking the depth needed to address Britain's complex economic challenges. Even tech mogul Elon Musk couldn't resist taking a swipe at Labor's financial strategies, further fueling public skepticism. The pressure on Reeves is mounting by the day. Her handling of the inheritance tax changes, dubbed the tractor tax by opponents, has sparked outrage among farmers and rural communities. The National Farmers Union claims the policy's impact is far worse than the Treasury admits, potentially threatening the UK's food security. It's a PR nightmare for a party trying to win over rural constituencies. But it's not just farmers who are up in arms. Reeves's past support for cutting benefits to pensioners and young people has come back to haunt her. In a particularly heated interview, she struggled to defend these positions, leaving many viewers wondering if she's truly in touch with the struggles of ordinary citizens. The tipping point came during a live TV appearance where Reeves faced a barrage of tough questions about her economic plans. As the interviewer pressed her on the tractor tax and her stance on means-testing winter fuel payments for pensioners, Reeves began to visibly sweat. The nation watched, transfixed as she fumbled for answers. What would Reeves do under this intense scrutiny? Would she double down on her policies, risking further backlash? Or would she backtrack, potentially undermining Labor's economic credibility? As the cameras rolled, Reeves made a decision that would send shockwaves through UK politics. The fallout from this moment threatens to upend Labor's carefully crafted image as the party of economic competence. With Musk's criticism still ringing in voters' ears and public trust hanging by a thread, can Labor recover from this crisis? Or have Reeves's missteps dealt a fatal blow to the party's election chances? Rachel Reeves's disastrous TV appearance has set off a political earthquake, with aftershocks rippling through the Labor Party and beyond. The media frenzy is in full swing, with pundits and politicians alike dissecting every moment of her on-air meltdown. Labor's allies are scrambling to contain the damage, but their efforts seem futile as opponents gleefully seize on this golden opportunity to discredit the party's economic platform. As the dust settles, Labor finds itself facing a credibility crisis of epic proportions. Their carefully crafted image as the party of economic competence lies in tatters. Can they recover from this spectacular own goal? It's a question that's keeping party strategists up at night. The implications for Labor's election chances are dire. Trust in political promises, already fragile, has eroded further. Voters are left wondering, if Labor can't even get their facts straight on TV, how can they be trusted to run the country? It's a sentiment that's gaining traction across social media and in pub conversations nationwide. But the fallout isn't confined to the UK shores. This crisis is sending shockwaves through the global economic community. Investor confidence in the UK is wavering, with some international firms reconsidering their British investments. The pound has taken a hit, and economic forecasts are being hastily revised downward. It's a stark reminder of how quickly political missteps can translate into real-world economic consequences. As Labour grapples with this crisis, internal divisions are bubbling to the surface. Some MPs are expressing dissatisfaction with the party's direction and leadership, hinting at potential challenges to Rachel Reeves and even Keir Starmer. The party is at a crossroads. Will they double down on their current strategy or change course in a bid to regain public trust? The National Farmers Union's criticism of Reeves for relying on misleading figures about inheritance tax changes has only added fuel to the fire. It's not just about one policy anymore. It's about Labor's overall credibility and their ability to connect with ordinary citizens' struggles. As Labor fights to keep its head above water, comparisons to the Conservative Party's struggles during the 1990s are becoming more frequent. That period of economic mismanagement and loss of public trust led to a crushing defeat in the 1997 general election. Is history about to repeat itself? While Labour scrambles to contain the damage, an unexpected player is entering the game, ready to capitalize on the party's moment of weakness. The political landscape is shifting, and the next moves could reshape British politics for years to come. Just when we thought Labour's crisis couldn't get any worse, enter Elon Musk, the tech billionaire turned political provocateur. Musk's initial swipes at Labour's economic policies were just the opening salvo. Now, he's upped the ante with a move that's got Westminster buzzing, a face-to-face meeting with none other than Nigel Farage. This isn't just a casual chat over tea, it's a power play that sent shockwaves through the UK political establishment. Musk, it seems, is no longer content with being a distant critic. He's positioning himself as a potential kingmaker in British politics. But what's Musk's endgame here? Is this about business interests, or does he have a broader political agenda? The tech mogul's history of vocal criticism against left-wing politicians suggests it's more than just protecting his bottom line. Musk has a pattern of wading into political debates, often using his massive social media platform to shape public opinion. Take his recent comments on Labour's proposed inheritance tax on farmers. Musk didn't mince words, stating bluntly, "We should leave the farmers alone." It's a stance that's won him support in rural communities already disgruntled with Labour's policies. The UK political establishment is watching Musk's moves with a mix of fascination and trepidation. Some see his growing influence as a threat to Labour's already shaky credibility. Others worry about the implications of a foreign billionaire wielding such power over domestic politics. But love him or loathe him, there's no denying Musk's potential impact on the UK's political landscape. His alignment with figures like Farage could shift public opinion towards more right-leaning alternatives. It's a scenario that has Labour strategists breaking out in cold sweats. As the dust settles on this latest political earthquake, one thing is clear: the game has changed. Musk's involvement adds a wildcard element to an already unpredictable situation. Will his criticisms galvanize public sentiment against the current government? Could we see a dramatic reshaping of UK politics with Musk as a key player? The coming weeks will be crucial. As Labour scrambles to regain its footing, all eyes will be on Musk's next move. Will he double down on his criticism or step back from the political arena? One thing's for certain, British politics just got a whole lot more interesting. From Angela Rayner's embarrassing interview gaffe to Rachel Reeves' on-air meltdown, Labour's economic credibility has taken a battering. The party's fumbles have exposed a worrying disconnect between their grand promises and actual engagement with businesses and rural communities. This series of missteps has not only eroded public trust, but also caught the attention of global figures like Elon Musk, whose unexpected foray into UK politics has added a wild card to an already volatile situation. The Labour Party's crisis serves as a stark reminder of how fragile political narratives can be in our hyper-connected world. In an age where a single tweet can spark a firestorm and live TV gaffes go viral in minutes, politicians are under constant scrutiny. The public's ability to fact-check in real time and share information at lightning speed means that inconsistencies and errors are quickly exposed and amplified. As we've seen with Musk's growing influence and Nigel Farage's unexpected resurgence, the lines between domestic and international politics are blurring. In this new landscape, who truly shapes a nation's political destiny? Is it still the traditional party machines, or are we witnessing the rise of a new breed of global influencers who can sway public opinion with a single social media post? The answers to these questions may well determine the future of UK politics and beyond.